Hi friends, Nathaniel Chalkin here, founder of Awakening Leadership. Welcome to part 3 of our Waking Up, Growing Up, Showing Up series. Now, waking up can be thought of as taking the helicopter up above the clouds for a temporary peek at the mountaintop. That's the mystical experience that one can have inside of a psychedelic journey. Of course, you have to land the helicopter and walk one foot in front of the other from base camp up to the mountain peak yourself. You want to integrate that experience. So the growing up experience really has to do with psychological development. You can have a peak state experience, but then temporary states only become enduring traits through practice. Now, part 3 here today is about showing up. And just as I redefined integration in the growing up phase, that integration is a practice, it's not an event. And also that what's meant by psychedelic integration is actually psychological integration, the process of healing or self-actualization or individuation. We're going to redefine integration one more step. As a leader, you know that integration continues beyond you. This is what the showing up phase is all about. How do you show up in alignment with your higher calling, your purpose, your dharma? And what does it mean to lead a team and an organization that is reflective of the kind of consciousness that psychedelics are helping to awaken at this time on the planet? Now, with the work I do day to day at Palestra Leadership, which is our leadership team and organizational development consultancy, we set out with a very simple mission, which was to disrupt leadership training. So much of training is just for leaders and high potentials. And it's a training, which in the leadership training space means it starts and it stops. So the disruption was simple. It's not just for leaders. It's for everyone. Development, growth, learning is for everyone. And it's not a training. It doesn't start and stop. And so in our 1, 2, 3 for awakening leadership, we have, this is really about mystical experience. Mystical experience heals. And second, integration is a practice. And then third, the best way to practice is in a community practice. This is what's sometimes referred to as the Airbnb of talent management. And the way we put it is that everyone is a coach. So in the same way as plant medicine is democratizing access to mystical experience, meaning it's empowering you to have a direct experience, a direct relationship with the divine, we also want to adopt the shift from the sit and get orientation, whether you're sitting and getting in school or church or in a leadership training. We want to shift from sit and get to partner up and practice. Everyone is a coach. So same idea, when you're engaged in integration as a practice, you become a practitioner. When you are a practitioner and you sit in circle instead of sit and get, then everyone is a co-active member in providing coaching and being coached. And coaching, of course, is facilitating a leadership mindset. So this is how we're scaling leadership development through the whole company. And we have regular times where people show up to team practice and partner up in practice. So this also comes from the world of self-organization. In the first place, we have a decentralized or democratized power dynamic at the executive team level. And as the team goes, so goes the organization. So we make sure that the leader is willing to do their deep inner work and set the tone, model the embodiment of the core values. And we empower the team to freedom of speech with this very simple perspective-taking exercise and some martial arts metaphors to make that upshift from feedback to perspective. So that, as Ray Dalio would say, the best ideas are winning, not the biggest egos. So there's an idea meritocracy. That alone can be quite a disruption for most companies that aren't quite yet up to the notion of having a meritocratic team dynamic. Then we can move to phase 3, which has to do with the community of practice, that everyone's a coach, peer coaching, partnering up and practicing. And this is what, again, is so powerful when you take on integration as a practice and you're a practitioner, then you can start to open up a practice and you create this self-actualizing living system, the dojo, the one-room schoolhouse, And that allows everyone to thrive and grow together. And in my own experience of being on the mat in the dojo, it's very powerful because there is a trust that is on the other side of conflict. That is what it means to be a band of brothers and sisters. It is the beloved community. It is iron sharpens iron. It is the whole thing of alchemy. It is that whatever is disrupting us in the marketplace becomes the monastery when we realize that it's there to help us grow. It's there to wake us up. And that is why when I'm bringing people on journeys, it's just really the first step in a much broader invitation to create conscious businesses where people go to grow. An organization that's led by a conscious leader, where the core values are taken off the wall and put on the mat, so everyone is practicing, learning, growing, and it creates the kind of meaning where, aren't we searching to belong somewhere? Don't we want to integrate life and work to the extent that where we go to work aligns with our personal core values and can be a source of meaning and fulfillment? If they say a third of people are engaged at work today, and some percentage of those are actively disengaged, which means they're causing trouble. You hear the whole cliche about people not working anymore, not feeling motivated, just showing up, silent quitters, it's called. And also that if you're not fulfilled at work, you're only 1% likely to be fulfilled in life. So it matters that we have meaning and purpose at work. And our whole premise here is that people experience meaning through growth. You remember the original Dan Pink research on intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. And they find in general that, of course, leadership and culture matter 3 times more than salary, bonuses, and benefits. So you can give people extrinsic stuff. But people want to feel meaningfully engaged and connected at work. And Dan Pink's research said it was autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Do I have some choice around what I do at work? An ability to affect change, to have the best ideas win, one might say. Mastery, to be continuously improving, creates a sense of meaning, intrinsic motivation, and purpose. Is the organization in service to a higher calling, a purpose beyond making a profit? So with that, I really want to invite you into a journey that is holding the sacredness of what can truly be a genuine mystical rite of passage, to do your work in preparation, to practice integration, not just with a coach, but on your own, so that you can begin to respond to the call to show up as a more conscious leader and start to build a team dynamic that is profoundly empowering and that can genuinely create an exponential shift in the culture itself, and then to empower your organization bit by bit to create that deliberately developmental organization, a place where people would say they go to grow. And whatever your organization or sector, whether you're in the for-profit, the nonprofit, there's a kind of shape going on this way, to my mind, where we need the consciousness to come into business, organizations, but we also need what we've learned about organizational leadership to come back in and around those new spiritual communities that are holding the medicine. It's just as important there. There is really no separation between the monastery and the marketplace. And yet we need places where we can be in retreat, and we need places that operate in the world that are aligned with higher purpose, core values, everything we know about conscious leadership. So thanks for tuning in. And next email will be a special early bird invitation to join us in Costa Rica, January 26th through 31st.